this. It's your boy. This is the first episode of the new PR. We are going to be watching the new Jim Gaffigan bourbon set. So, shit, man, let's get into it. Make sure you're pouring yourself a nice glass of something to sip on. If you're not a drinker like myself, always recommend one of these.
You may be wondering, why do an entire show about bourbon? Well, let me tell you, no one asked for it. No one came up to me and like, when are you going to do a stand-up set about America's native spirit? I'm mentally ill. So I'd like you to keep that in mind. I'm going to be talking about bourbon for 30 minutes straight, all right, which is essentially what bourbon drinkers do a couple times a day. All right?
That's a fun one. This is going to be interesting to see how he kind of approaches this. 30 minutes is a significant amount of time to do stand-up. And to be doing stand-up on the same topic the whole time, that's a tall order. I will expect that he'll sort of deviate in and out of just the bourbon stuff at least a couple of times. But I mean, Jim Gaffigan's been doing this longer than I've been alive. You know, if there's anybody who can kind of pull it off. It's just one of the other things I'd be cautious about is that a lot of drinking and alcohol is a very common sort of theme through just in stand-up in general. So you also hope it isn't super derivative of just like kind of stuff you could expect everybody to do. But I'm looking forward to this.
Most of these jokes are going to be about bourbon and whiskey. If you're looking for a brandy or a tequila joke, that's another comedian processing a different form of denial. Here's how we landed here. During the pandemic, I got really into gardening and bourbon. And what I learned over the past couple years is no one cares about gardening. So here we are. Ideally, you should be 21 to hear these jokes, but in a perfect world, we'd all be 21. Forever. But life doesn't work like that, which is why Jesus invented bourbon. Right? I assume some of you don't.
Solid shit. So somebody in the style of Jim Gaffigan, with the experience level of Jim Gaffigan, I would expect a very high. People call it like laughs per minute. Very sort of like snappy and punchy. Not a lot of downtime.
Don't drink. For the record, I would never encourage anyone to drink alcohol unless they want to have fun. Alcohol can be fun. It can loosen you up. You lose your inhibitions and sometimes your career and family. The great irony is when I met my wife, I didn't drink at all. My two older children never saw me have a beer until they were in high school. And now I have my own bourbon. I would never say my kids are the reason I drink, but they are why I get drunk.
It feels like somebody wants to sell me something!
I told you he was on to us.
Okay. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess he is doing this set to just promote his new bourbon. This is kind of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson coded in that way.
By the way, not one fucking complaint. Ever. That's why you're the best. And I appreciate you. Thank you. I guess.
Anyway, I got my eye on you, Jim.
Now, there are whiskeys from throughout the world, right? There's Scotch whiskey, there's Irish whiskey, Canadian, Indian, wherever the English invaded. Those people were like, we need some damn whiskey. To be called Scotch whiskey, it must be made in Scotland, but there, they just call it whiskey. In fact, in Scotland, Scotch is a derogatory term or a type of tape. Here's an interesting fact. Scotch whiskey and Scotch tape taste the same. It's like we're wrapping Christmas presents. The spirits industry advocates for responsible drinking. They'll put that in ads. Drink responsibly. No other American industry discourages overconsumption. Right? McDonald's is never like, hey, fat ass, take it easy on the fries. Ben and Jerry's doesn't tell people, Tubby, that pint is not a single serving. Taco Bell doesn't print on their wrappers, enjoy your diarrhea. And they should.
Maybe it's now that I know that he is using this to sell his own bourbon, I don't want to watch it really anymore. And it's causing me to look at it a little more critically. Some of the stuff has seemed kind of derivative so far in the way that I was a little bit worried about. I was really hoping this was just going to be sort of like a passion project. Like, I just really want to do this, like, 6-set about bourbon because, fuck it, I've done everything else. I'm Jim Gaffigan. But if it's really just here to sell his... all right, let's keep going. It hasn't even been 10 minutes yet.
Whiskey is one of the spirits which improves with age, right? That's why there are names like Old Forester, Old Granddad, or Old Dirty Bastard. Age is a positive, right? This doesn't apply to many of the things we consume. You never hear someone say, I bought this tuna salad on the day my daughter was born. And when she turns 21,
Well, everybody knows you're not the first one to make this joke, Jim. Everybody knows this. Let's see what turn he makes with it, though. Let's see where he goes with it.
we're gonna crack it open. I'm detecting notes of botulism. This is usually the point where people go, why? Why so many jokes about whiskey?
Okay.
Well, there's a reason.
That is what I'm
saying.
saying.
My accountant told me if I talk about something in my stand-up, I can write it off on my taxes.
I don't know if he's joking or not. That's
why. You know, I was lucky enough, I got to co-headline some shows with Jerry Seinfeld. And now, I don't know if you know, but Jerry Seinfeld is extremely poor. No, Jerry did very well. Jerry doesn't really drink, but he knows I enjoy bourbon. And after our Charlotte show, Jerry, we were checking into our hotel, and there was a bar in the lobby, and Jerry said, hey, why don't we get a drink? You could get a bourbon. Jerry actually sounds like that. As we walked in the bar, I saw this wall of 100 bottles, and at the top, there was a bottle of King of Kentucky, which is very rare. I had never tried it. Among bourbon nerds, it's considered a unicorn. It's impossible to find. And I thought, oh, I'd love to get King of Kentucky. But I realized it would be $75, maybe $100 a glass. And then I realized, you know what? Jerry Seinfeld can handle that. As we sat down, Jerry said, yeah, whatever you want. And I thought, oh, I'm gonna. Jerry got a Cavassier. I ordered the King of Kentucky, and I saw this waitress climb this ladder up and grab this beautiful bottle, and she brought it down, and she poured it, and she handed it to me, and I tasted it, and it was pure euphoria. I felt like I was the King of Kentucky, which is ridiculous, because we all know that's Colonel Sanders, right?
okay. I was like worried that.
Which is ridiculous. I felt like I was the King of Kentucky.
I was worried that he was just going to end on that joke. I was about to be like, Jim, what are we doing, Jim? That's a joke sucks, Jim. What are we doing? But then,
which is ridiculous because we all know
this
that's
is a little bit
Colonel
better.
Sanders.
The Colonel Sanders line, we'll allow it. And it was at the end of the, well, I guess it's not over yet, but the Jerry Seinfeld story. This is the Jerry Seinfeld story. I'm enjoying this. The first 7-8 minutes, I've been like, all right, come on, what are we doing here?
I then had this epiphany. I should have Jerry Seinfeld try King of Kentucky. Jerry will become a bourbon drinker because of me. Then we can go out drinking expensive bourbon, and Jerry can pay for it. I said, Jerry, you gotta try this. Jerry tasted it, and he said, I don't like it, it's not good, but get another one if you want. And I thought, oh, I'm gonna. So I got another one, and it was even better. Then the check came, and Jerry was looking at it strangely, and I said, is there a problem? And Jerry said, your King of Kentucky's cost $500 a pop. Now, there are a couple things you can do in that situation. I should point out, Jerry's a friend, but more importantly, he's someone I respect. So I could have said, Jerry, that's ridiculous. Let me pay. But all I said was, sorry, Jerry. Boom, ba-dum, boom, ba-da-da-da. It was like I was.
That isn't that, Jim. You could have done a better impression of the Seinfeld theme song than that.
Like Elijah Craig, the father of bourbon. The father of bourbon. Is he the father?
He's got the perfect audience for this kind of show. You got people. You can just name someone who made a bourbon, and then people will woo. That's kind of crazy how we found all these people to listen to this.
Let's just say Maury Povich wasn't around then. Elijah Craig, you are not the father.
I'm tired of hearing Maury Povich, you're not the father jokes. I'm tired of hearing that.
George Garvin Brown, in 1870, started a bourbon called Old Forester, which is named after Dr. William Forester, who was a famous Civil War surgeon, and George wanted a famous doctor to endorse his bourbon. So he got Dr. Forester, who by today's standards would be like Dr. Oz or Dr. Phil, if they were respected. Right? Now, some of the stories are just clever marketing, right? There's a bourbon where all
Clever marketing, you say.
the barrels are aged on a ship at sea. It's called Jefferson Ocean, right? Now, Jefferson has other brands. I should probably say these out loud so I can write them off. There's Jefferson Reserve, Jefferson Tropics, Jefferson Airplane, which changed its name to Jefferson Starship. They really jumped the shark when they came out with that song, We Built This City on Sourced Barrels. By the way, if you get any
You're better than this, Jim. What are we doing?
of those, it's how the barrels are reacting to the vibrations, either from being at sea or responding to the music, that will change the taste of the bourbon. Now, this barrel, which is full, by the way, has been exposed to my stand-up. And therefore should taste hilarious.
I like that joke. I like it.
Now, that's an interesting backstory,
That's
right?
a good joke.
But we all collectively know it's also horseshit. But also, it would be a celebrity spirit, which, I mean, come on. Those are the worst. And I understand. I get it why someone would be offended by a celebrity spirit. Who are these interlopers that are coming in, having an ego trip in the middle of my industry? Why would a 8-time Grammy nominee, multi-Emmy winning, New York Times best-selling author, why would he want to slum with trash like us? Well, I like you little people.
Sold out. Special's working.
Bourbon is the easiest way to feel like a man. Like, you don't need to fix a car or chop down a tree. You just need to drink bourbon. You just need to go like this. Look at how manly that looks.
What was this? So what other highlights are there on this special?
people, how can I help you? Are you looking for your wife to leave you or just lose your job? Both. We've got just the thing. It's called Fireball.
Anybody could do these jokes, though. This isn't.
Now, if you've never tried...
I was hoping to get. I was hoping to watch this and be like, tour de force, Jim Gaffigan masterclass or whatever, but it's really just doing fucking advertising. Now I'm doing unpaid advertising for Jim Gaffigan doing paid advertising. Now I just feel dumb. What's this joke right here that gets a pop on the YouTube timeline? What's this?
We'll talk about alcohol for a half an hour. All I can say is Cosby did worse.
I've heard all the Cosby jokes already, man. I've heard all the Cosby jokes. You're better than that, Jim.
Like the stock market, when they talk about the stock market in the news, like, the stock market today, rah, 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 rah. I normally go, oh, that's interesting. On the inside, I'm like, dang, stock market, Saddest part of that, in college, I majored in finance. I did. I really did.
This guy's a little bit more of a marketing and money mogul than he's leading on. This is the first thing I've ever watched, and I actually didn't make it through all the way to the end. And I'm not watching it all the way to the end because I don't feel like it was something that he cared about that much. And I think it was like a means to kind of just like sell his bourbon. Yeah, so I think I'm just going to mark this one as a DNF, give it a just slap a 5 out of 10 on that. Did not finish, and I don't know. I guess don't watch it unless you really fuck with bourbon. Yeah, this is going to be a short one. I got another one to edit anyway. So all right.